back to the Social Psycho Podcast, where we take a look at things affecting the Black community from a sociological and psychological point of view. My name is Boonie, and I'm here with Nadia, Brent, Vanjalyn, and John. How are y'all doing today?
Doing good. Happy to be here.
Yeah, we ain't synced you in a while.
I know. I told you I've been running in circles. I'm getting it together now, though. So
I got you. You grinding.
yeah, right. Got to.
What about the rest of y'all? We just now was talking about how we had low energy this week or whatever. Everybody kind of.
I was about to say, life sucks. Not because there's anything bad going on, but life just sucks. It's draining. We're tired for no actual reason. We are mentally on pause, and yeah, we just gonna physically keep it moving.
I feel all of that because life has
Me
been sucking.
too.
I have been talking to a lot of people though. A lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Okay. So yeah.
you know.
Ooh, that name out there.
Okay then.
Man, you gotta check your messages, by the way. But
Bruh. I'm gonna let y'all know now. If y'all have sent me anything, you even asked John, like, I ain't been checking shit.
Yeah, I know.
ain't been checking nothing.
I know, because I've been blowing you up. And I even forget that you ain't checking it, because a lot of times I'll send you stuff. I send you stuff on every social media platform, and I just forget about it.
I get overwhelmed. Because I'll see you send me something, and then I know that if I open it, that means I got to go back and look at everything else, and then I more than likely got to respond. So I'll send you stuff without opening up the messages.
I be doing the same thing sometimes.
That's a big ass number on that notification.
Because I be doing a lot. I got so many different platforms, and I be forgetting, like, yeah, she only got one. I might need to chill out.
I have over 100 notifications on TikTok. I got like 40 something on Instagram, another 40 on fucking Messenger, and I just let them all sit there.
All for me?
No, just period.
I'm about to say.
Because even my mama sent me a message yesterday. She was like, "Ma'am, check your messages. I need you to read up on something." I was like, "I really don't feel like it though."
Oh, Lord. Oh yeah, you gotta check mine because you gotta see something. But anyways, today we are going to talk about monogamy versus polygamy and polyamory, or monogamy versus poly relationships or non-monogamous relationships, because that seems to be a huge topic on social media these days. We see it with the celebrities and 12 baby mamas and, you know, broken homes and, you know, all of that stuff, you know, the promoting of, you know, niggas think that they're kings and that they should have many women to satisfy their desires instead of just being like, I just like women.
Meanwhile, they're just disappointments.
Exactly. So to get into this topic, I'm going to give y'all the definition of each one so we can differentiate between all of them. So, of course, monogamy is obviously being married to one person at a time. Polygamy is having more than one wife or husband at a time. Polyamory is engaging in many romantic relationships with the consent of everyone involved. The difference between polygamy and polyamory is the marriage part and also the gender of the parties, meaning a woman can have a lot of men in polyamorous relationships, man can have, and then also non-cisgendered people in the LGBT community can have different partners, or it's usually for the pansexuals out there, but I think it's too much for this one. A little too much for me. But so we're gonna slide right in to the topic with the first segment, what's your theory segment. We're gonna jump right into this segment with this question. Why do you think polygamous and polyamorous relationships or non-monogamous relationships are becoming popularized in America? And we're gonna start with Brent.
Because people trying to cash in on whatever it is going on. I think it's just a money hustle, because this is not something new. This was going around since.
I mean, it's not new. It's just something here in this country. We usually don't do that.
I mean, I understand the part about this country, but you had Mormon religions, Native American tribes, stuff like that. They all been doing it here in this country. Even, man, people find a new fad and just follow along with it because it's cool and it's popular. Like half of these people who in these relationships full of shit.
So you think it's just like people just doing it because it's the thing to do now?
Yeah, it's what's in. You know, people follow fads. Like back in the days and stuff like that. You know, you had Black men that had a thing for German shepherds, then they became Rottweilers, and they became pit bulls and stuff. Whatever.
Well, I'm gonna say, like my grandma said, what they got to do with the price of sugar in China?
Nothing. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, people follow trends, social fads, whatever's popular at that time. So you know, people gullible too. People just want to be cool and in and all of that. Like,
so you don't think there's no like sincerity with it?
Hell no.
Got you. What about you, Nadia?
Ooh, I was hoping I was last. Let me stop. But I mean, I kind of agree with Brent. That's why I was kind of laughing at what he was saying. Like, I've also seen in certain instances where with poly, they normally do it for financial reasons as well. Cause I've seen a couples, like a husband and like 3 wives, they was building an empire and stuff. I mean, me personally, I can never. But, you know, more power to the ones that do. I feel like, I mean, some people it is for the hype and it does seem kinky. It's too much for me. That's a whole lot going on. I couldn't keep up. So I stay in my lane. But, you know, for the people out there, you know, that's doing it. I mean, if y'all doing it for the right reasons, you know, do what you do. But I don't think it's all hype though. Because some people do use it as teamwork.
Okay. What about you, John?
I agree with Brent and Nadia, but I'm gonna add this on there. A lot of people, yeah, they do it for like financial reasons. They do it because you know it's part of the new thing that's going on. But for what I'm really seeing from a lot of men, because they try to use this as an excuse, they try to say, you know, it's part of their biology to have more than one woman. They think that, and it's really been going on since the 1900s. Like a lot of men be messing around with a lot of women because of experience, but it's also because a lot of people just coming out and saying, I just can't deal with one person for the rest of my life. Like they gotta have more than one person at a time. They don't think that they can actually be disciplined enough to deal with one person for the rest of their life. They gotta have more than one person. But at times it's really be bad intentions involved. I'm not gonna put that kind of negativity on there because it's not everybody. But
right.
a lot of times it be bad intentions involved when it comes down to dealing with multiple partners at a time.
So do you think that what the heck was I about to ask? My bad. My bad, yeah. I just blanked. My bad. But so you think that basically it's an excuse to be with a bunch of women. It's an excuse.
Right. Because at the end of the day, I mean, anybody can come up and just be like, hey, listen, I just feel like I just need more than one woman because I can't really deal with one woman. But they kind of try to use a lot of things to validate themselves as to why they are polygamous or polyamorous and all that. They kind of make themselves feel better to be in that particular relationship. Now, I'm not saying it's right or wrong to be in that type of relationship, just as long as you're upfront about what you want. But a lot of times, a lot of people are upfront with what they want.
This is what I meant to ask you. Do you think that it's unnatural for people to want to be with multiple people?
Unnatural?
Or do you think that we've been conditioned to think that we are supposed to be with one person?
I think it's conditioned, the stigma that's been placed down on people to feel bad about certain things. But honestly, it's not. There's a lot of things that's about us people in general in this generation that's not natural. Like a lot of things have been led in the wrong direction because of what's been placed upon, the Black community.
Got you.
So,
what about? Oh, go ahead.
but yeah, I just believe that it's basically conditioned for us to be in a certain position because at the end of the day, you do what you want to do because you want to do it. Everything else is just you trying to validate yourself and make yourself feel better as to why you do it.
True.
Makes sense. What about you, Van?
For me, I think it's because people are starting to realize more and more that they do in fact need more than one person, because the way, like how y'all said conditioned, the way we are conditioned in this society is that we're supposed to have one person only, and that's a lot. That's a lot of strain on that one person. That one person is supposed to be your go-to, your best friend, your sex partner, your mental and emotional partner. Like, it's great to have that, of course. It's wonderful, amazing if you can find that person that meets all of those, points. But a lot of the times, especially in this society, people rely on that too much to the point where, like, you don't even have outside friends. Like, say you've been had especially when it comes to like the opposite sex, let's say you've been had this friend who has legit been your platonic friend for all these years, and now you have a partner. In society's eyes, you're not supposed to have that friend no more, and it's like, but this friend has been almost everything except for a relationship partner with you. Like, I have my husband who supports me in these areas. I have you that supports me in these areas. I have my own brother that supports me in these areas. My mom, she's my go-to for this stuff. Like, that's what your village is for. That's what your village is. Those are the people that support you in ways that other people can't. Your partner, it's a great idea that they can support you in every single way, but that is also an extremely high expectation. And of course, I'm not saying lower your expectations, but let's be real, for the majority, that's an extremely high expectation to have one person to meet your every single need. This person is supposed to be your nurse, your therapist, your best friend, your lover, your sex partner, your mental. That's a lot for one person. And I think a lot of people are starting to realize that they do, in fact, need more than one person. This one person that they may, potentially love dearly does not meet every single aspect that a human needs in life in order to function properly. That's why we have therapists. That's why we have doctors. That's why we have, best friends, family members. That's why we have these people in our surroundings, because that one person can't take on all that. Now, there are, especially with the male people, there are quite a lot of them that are using that as an excuse to just sleep around because they want to have some kind of control. They want this person to sleep with them while they go and sleep with everybody else. And then they try to make it a thing like, well, how about we just all join together? And it's like, yeah, like John said, if you coming in it with being honest, letting folks know up front what you want, then, go for it if that's what they agree to. But if not, then find somebody that agrees with it. And then you have those, like Nadia said, that are doing it business purposes. Like, I personally don't see nothing wrong with it. If I had the mental capacity to deal with that, like a couple or a couple of more people in a relationship with me that I'm extremely close to, I know I can trust, help raise the kids, we have our own little mini village. Like, I see nothing wrong with that. You're building your own little society over here, as long as it's not with the wrong intentions and you're not doing like cult like shit. I see
Right.
nothing wrong with it.
Right.
So I do see that as well. But of course, it depends on how you're going about it, what you're looking for. But I do believe we've been conditioned to think that
Yeah.
one person will do. And it's like, again, great if you find that that one person will, but you also have to remember that's a lot on that one person. That's a lot on you, because they're expecting the same from you. And for
Right.
yourself, you're not that person.
Right.
So think about it like that. That's how I feel about it, though.
So I feel like it's a little of everything that y'all said. I agree with Van wholeheartedly. I do think that we were conditioned to believe that we only should be with one person. That person should fulfill our every need, and even ashamed, like John said earlier, into thinking that, into believing that this is what it is. And if you need somebody else, then something is wrong with you. And I feel like that conditioning was created, or it was done to help out the little people, if you understand what I'm saying. Because
Right.
if all of the women are marrying the man with a lot of money, who gonna marry the man who don't got nothing? Who gonna marry the man who can't fulfill these different needs that women need, if there's one man who has like 10 5, 10 women that are willing to share him because he fulfilled all of the needs that they have, and they've created this community that works for them. I do think that monogamy was created for that purpose, so it could be fair, I guess you could say.
Okay.
So everybody will be able to get somebody, and it'll be fair. Even the people who are a little inadequate, the ones y'all see on the internet getting mad for the polygamy, the non-monogamous relationships, for those niggas. But at the same time, I do think that people are abusing it. I think that it's become a popular thing, and a lot of people are seeing it, and they're using it as an opportunity to either come up financially, build this empire or whatever financially, and honestly use people to get what they want or whatever. Because I feel like at the end of the day, once that company or whatever is put into place, that person isn't going to be the same person they were when these people was helping them get to that point. And on the other end of that, I don't see nothing wrong with people coming together and deciding, okay, we're going to get this big house and we're going to have this household and we're going to build a village. We're going to have a family, we're going to have businesses, and we're going to run these things together. I don't think nothing is wrong with that. It becomes a problem when you don't really value the people that are helping you out and you're taking advantage of them to get what you want. When your intentions aren't good, that's what makes it bad. And then I do think that there are those men who claim to be, oh, I'm a king. A king is supposed to have a lot of women, and look at the lion. The lion got all the lioness is just one of him, and it's 5 lioness. So I should be the same thing because I'm like the lion. And it's like,
They
nah, nigga.
forget the lion is just there for reproduction purposes. The women do everything. The lioness does everything else. He
Everything,
is literally just there
everything.
for reproduction.
That's what I say. They always use the animal planet as an example, but a lot of the times the female animals are usually the ones that's out there getting the food to eat. Like, for instance, the penguins. The female penguins are the ones who go and get food and stuff like that, while the males stay back and they sit on top of the eggs so the eggs can hatch. In a lot of those animal groups is like that, but those guys tend to forget that part because they just want to make a point of, the nigga just got a lot of women around him, I want a lot of women, so I'm gonna compare myself to a lion, when you really and truly don't understand why you're doing this. Like, it's different if, like, you have the knowledge and you have a plan for why you're bringing these people together and you're creating this foundation with these people, because the things that you create within a relationship like that is important, especially if if 5 or more people are combining their efforts and their resources to get this, because they need to be able to get exactly what they put into it out of it. If they're just putting things into it and not getting things out, that's not fair. It's not fair. You don't really care about the I guess you could say the fundamentals of what that is supposed to be. You just like the idea of being a nigga with 5 women and a bunch of kids in one house. You just like how it look good to you. You look like that nigga. And plus, I feel like, at the same time, when women see a man able to take care of 3 or more women, they want him. I think a lot of times it's like an advertisement. Like, look what I can do. You need to come get on this team because look what I can do. Like, I got 3 women and all of them happy. Like, you need to come be a part of this, which is why they get on social media. They create these accounts so they can attract more women to them, because they're greedy, basically. I feel like there should be a plan. If you're going to do that, there should be a plan. There should be a maximum amount of people that you add into the group, and everybody that's contributing to that foundation you're building should get equally as much out of it. Not, this person is getting this much more because whatever, or like you playing favorites and you're causing discourse in your own community because you like the idea of these people battling for you and stuff like that. I've seen a few groups on social media, on TikTok to be exact, with these men claiming to be in these poly relationships and then these women being with them, and basically see like they be selling them to me, because what's the point of sitting on social media showing everybody your life like that? Like, look at what we doing, look what we got going on over here, if you're not trying to add more people to that. Like, what is your point? So I feel like, yeah, some people are doing it for the wrong reasons. Some people have bad intentions, but I think on the other side of it, there are some people who are really coming together because times are hard. It's hard to pay bills and stuff like that. It's hard for one person to run a business, to pay bills and to live, to do all the things that you need to do to survive. Surviving is hard enough. People are tired of just surviving. They want to thrive. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with you wanting to have luxurious lifestyle. But at the same time, you have to define what that looks like to you, because you shouldn't be doing something because you see somebody else doing it or because it's popular. You should do it because you have a thorough understanding of what you're doing, and you're willing to put in the work that it takes to do this, and you're willing to and you appreciate and value the people that you have along with you. And that's my take on it. If y'all don't have anything to add to that, then we can move on to the next segment. So we're going to go to the Hear Me Out segment with the next question. Do you have any issues with non-monogamous relationships? If so, why? We're gonna start with Van.
Oh, I already said I don't. I have no problem with it whatsoever. The only time I would have a problem with it is, of course, if it's done for the wrong reasons. But then again, if it doesn't include me, who am I to say it's for the wrong reason? So I feel like if you're doing it because your partner really wants to do it and you don't want to do it and you just think, we'll just get it out the way, maybe it'll help me some, and you already know you don't want to do that, that's to me considered a wrong reason to start. Right. But I have no problem if you're actually doing something with it, like y'all are actually genuinely happy, y'all are thriving, y'all are growing, y'all are together. Like, there is no I like this one more than that one, or right. I like him more than her, I like her more than him. Y'all love each other equally, y'all are happy equally, then I'm all for it. I support it. Hell, if I could, I would probably do that. But like I said, I don't have the mental capacity for it. I have barely enough for the people in my house as it is.
What about you, Brent?
Nah, I'm 100% agreeing with Van on this one.
You don't care?
Yeah, I really don't. Like, one, it doesn't affect me. And truth be told, us being from the country, shit, a lot of us already in polygamy, relationships and stuff as it is. So what I care?
Not us being from the country. Don't
I'm
speak
just
for
saying.
us all.
Well, I'm just saying, like,
Everybody might as well be together. I know exactly what Brent's saying.
I
I
know what he's
personally
saying
know
yeah,
too.
like, I
3
mean,
people with the same dude.
I know what he's saying too.
like, I remember, I'll say that for story time.
Yeah, because that's definitely the question for story time. What about you, Nadia? Dang, I forgot my clicker. Nadia, what about you? Do you have any issues with non-monogamous relationship or people wanting to be in non-monogamous relationships?
No, I actually don't. That's my preference because, like, I'm with Ben. I don't have the mental capacity to deal with, like, the multiple wives thing. But yeah, I don't have nothing against those that choose to do it, but also just be considerate because, again, like Van said, like that is a lot to put on someone, and that's definitely a different outlook, to look at it because you are asking a lot of that person. However, if you and that person agree, on one-on-one, why not? But yeah.
What about you, John?
I honestly agree with everybody. The only issue that I have is that a lot of people like to demonize one another as to why they prefer certain things. But that's really all I got to say on that.
I got you. And of course, y'all know I don't have an issue with it. I just want people to be more responsible when it comes to things like these, and not just this, but a lot of things that become popular, like y'all just be doing it because the next person is doing it, and I feel like that is dangerous because you're not only playing with your life, but you're playing with other people's lives. You're playing with other people's feelings and emotions. And I don't like that. That's how you're making a situation that could be really good and beneficial problematic, and it may scar people from ever wanting to try it again. So I think that if you don't have good intentions, which of course people who don't have good intentions is not going to listen to no advice that you give them, but I have an issue with people who go into those situations with bad intentions, or people who don't be upfront and honest about it. Like they just put you in the middle of something and you don't even know what's going on.
Right. Yeah,
That's the only issue I got. So we're going to go to the let's fix it segment with this question. What do you think is missing from monogamous relationships that is influencing more people to be open to non-monogamous relationships? And how do you think we can repair those relationships? You can start with Nadia.
Okay, so I feel like what's missing in monogamous relationships is like just the ability to be yourself, because like a lot of people have high expectations and like what they want, out of like their wife or their husband. But like sometimes when you choose somebody, you gotta meet them where they at. Like maybe they're not growing no more. Maybe that's it. And maybe they happy and content with themselves. Don't like, a lot of times people like, and I don't think like all the time it's anybody's intention to, tear their partner down. But like, how they say sticks and stones, may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Words do hurt. I don't know who came up with that, but words hurt. So I feel like you just got to be kind. They need to be more kind, more understanding of each other's needs, and understanding where they can and can't meet their partner at. partner at. Like, you know, don't try to overextend yourself, because, you know, in the early stages, all you want to do is please your partner. So, you know, you're doing more than enough to make, you know, this person feel like you're enough for them, so they don't go, you know, looking on the outside. And I think, you know, a lot of times we get caught up in, you know, pleasing them, and we lose sight of what we really want to do or who we really are. And you know, a lot of people don't like stuff like that. You know, they'll, like, you know, do stuff to you if they feel like, you know, you messed with their time or like you played them. So
Right.
I just feel like where you were saying about poly relationships, like I just feel like you just really have to, like, just open yourself up and just be open and honest with what you want, your intentions, and start meeting a person where they at. If they can grow and you feel like you want to do that with them, do that. If you feel like you can't meet them where they at and you want them to elevate, and then you see that they can't, then, you know, just move on. Like, people get too stuck on people and having somebody and wanting love. So yeah, so I just, because I said a whole lot, but to tie it all in together, I'm basically saying, like, what the relationship is missing is just kindness and, like, the ability to be yourself, pretty much being in a situation with no expectations.
Gotcha.
So yeah, so I feel like once everybody can, like, know who they are and move in relationships with the ability to be their self, I mean, it'll get better. But, you know, different strokes for different folks. So
That's true. What about you, John?
Honestly speaking, I just believe that people need to take into consideration on what they're getting themselves into, regardless what purpose they have, whether it be monogamy or polygamy. But just take into consideration that if you choose monogamy, that you're gonna have to, like, take it easy on people, because not everybody's gonna be able to give you everything you need, because at the end of the day, there's only one person. One person is
Right.
not gonna be able to. But yeah, a lot of people just need to take into consideration that, you know, not one person is not going to always be enough in a relationship. Like, you can have loyalty, you can have moral standards, but same time, that's just still only one person. That's
Right.
only one mind, and that one person is not going to be able to fulfill every single need every single day. It's just not going to happen. Like, that's what people need to be, and they also need to be real with, you know, their expectations. Like, one woman's not going to be able to be supportive all the time. She's not going to be feminine all the time. She's not going to be all these things that you want her to be, and vice versa. It's
Right.
like, you're gonna have times where y'all gonna mess up. Y'all gonna have times where everything's just gonna go down the drain.
Yeah, because
And if
sometimes
that's
things go lacking.
right, and if, you know, a lot of people are strong to, like, get past it, a lot of people ain't. It just is what it is. But I believe that people need to stop demonizing each other as to why they want more than one person, want to deal with certain people, or saying that, hey, you know, this monogamy is not really going to work for me, because I need more. Like, because of the position I'm in and because of where I'm at in life, you know, I believe that people feel like that they need to have more than one backbone in life. Now, it just really just depends on the person.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I just believe people need to take into consideration on what they getting themselves into, whichever purpose that they choose, because not a lot of people are really thinking about that.
Got you. What about you, Van? Hello, you already answered any? No. No.
I basically just agree with what Nadia and John was saying as far as like how to fix it. Everybody just needs to, as I always say, just be honest up front and, like they said, more compassionate and give more grace to that person, because if you are looking for a monogamous relationship, then yeah, you're definitely going to have to be more um, forgiving, more understanding, and make sure that they're doing the same. Y'all are on the same wave, because that's pressure that y'all agree to put on each other.
Right.
Mm.
What about you, Brent? Did you already go? I'm gonna lose a count.
Nah. You do what you can mentally and financially handle.
That's your answer.
Yeah.
That's legit though.
Got you. For me, I think I agree with everything that y'all said. I think when you get into, I think the thing that's missing in monogamous relationships is the village, like Van was talking about earlier. I think that we get into relationships with people and we think, and we put a lot of pressure on them to give us every single thing that we need, when really, like, like for instance, you like Van was saying, you have friends of the opposite sex before you get into a monogamous relationship, and then when you get into that person expects you to cut those relationships. And I feel like people need to be more open-minded about that. I don't think there's anything wrong with the opposite sex being friends when they're in relationships. You just have to set boundaries,
Right.
and not do things that you would do with your partner, with your friend. But having somebody there to support you and stuff when your partner isn't able to is something that I think we need to start implementing in monogamous relationships. And maybe people won't feel like they have to get in non-monogamous relationships. Like, it doesn't necessarily got to be romantic. It can be platonic friendships. It could be, like, for instance, Van, like, your best friend supporting you, your some maybe like how people like to joke about the work husbands and her work wives and stuff like that. I don't think that there's nothing wrong with that unless they cross the line. And that's unless you don't trust your partner, unless they gave you a reason to not trust them. I don't see the problem with people being friends with the opposite sex and keeping those friends, because that can benefit your relationship in the long run. Like, I feel like we should start creating villages within our relationships, within our family, friends, whatever. We need to start bringing people together and being supportive to one another. For instance, I've been seeing a lot of Tubi movies where couples have been like going on trips and stuff like that to be supportive to one another. And of course, on movies like that, there's going to be drama because this person is sleeping with this person, the baby not yours, he your homeboys. And a lot of that stuff can be avoided if people are setting boundaries within those relationships and being upfront and honest with their partner about certain things. For instance, if your wife does have a friend that you find attractive or whatever, and maybe that's something that you've been struggling with, you haven't made any moves on her yet, or nothing like that, you haven't made it obvious, but let's say you having those feelings and you feel like talking to her will kind of help you get through that situation. I feel like if your spouse comes to you about something like that, you should be open-minded about it, because people it can happen. It can happen as long as they're not acting on it, as long as it's something that's not like causing that person to be distracted for real. But like, if it's just a little something, I just feel like you should be open-minded when it comes to your partners. Maybe maybe it wasn't your friend, maybe he was out at the strip club and he in a moment, or she was at the strip club and had a moment of weakness where it was like, I could have cheated on you, like I had the desire to this. I think when we talk about stuff like that more, it makes it less detrimental to our relationships, because we make it more normal, because it is normal. Like, you may be in a relationship with somebody else, but sometimes you do have desires for other people, and it may not be something that's deep, it may be something that's fleeting or whatever. I feel like you should be able to talk about things like that with your spouse. So basically, I think you should be more open, and I feel like we should stop cutting off relationships from the opposite sex and stuff like that. Like, I just feel like we need to start building villages. and you know, not being afraid to bring your friends and your friends and your spouse's friends together, and then, you know, y'all support one another. Maybe y'all do different activities, maybe y'all go to like therapy, like the couples therapy, stuff like that, like maybe a yearly thing to keep your to keep your relationship healthy, to have dialogue with other people outside of your spouse, so that you can get certain thoughts out, so you can feel validated in some of the things that you've been feeling. Because I don't think there's nothing wrong with wanting to be validated. Sometimes I feel like we make it hard on our relationships, so we put a lot of pressure on them when we expect, like Van said, one person to fulfill our every desire. Either one, you got to deal with the fact that that's not going to happen and let a person be who they are, or two, you need to create that village so you and your spouse could be getting all of the things that you need. That doesn't necessarily mean that you allow them to have sex with somebody else, but if that's something that you're comfortable with, then do that. Like, also, I think we need to get out of the idea, the fantasy of what a relationship is supposed to be, because I think that causes us a lot of problems too, thinking that things are going to be a fairy tale and it's going to work like this or that, when you never know, because you're not Nina and Darius. You just not. You're not Darius Love Hall, and you're not Nina. And things don't work like that in real life. And we need to stop idealizing or fantasizing about these relationships that are not realistic. And create your own relationship. Don't be scared to do whatever it is that is going to benefit you and your partner, basically.
I want to throw in there that, because it just hit me. If y'all want to know a semi-perfect, like if you cut the drama out, a semi-perfect example of what a good poly relationship would be, read Boonie's books. Just read her books. You would get the like, I swear, if I had the mental
That's
that
true.
they did, it would be deep. I would love to live in that kind of world. I swear I
I
would.
would
And
love to
then
be
throwing my
Yara.
own, right, and then throwing
With
my own personal
anybody.
business out there. Having those kind of conversations are great for couples, or in my opinion, like, I love those conversations when, like, there are times, because me and my husband, like, are kind of sort of, ain't no kind of sort of, we have two completely different mindsets, and his mindset fits more with the average person, whereas of course I'm not normal, I can say that. But he was like terrified to tell me some of the things that's like on his mind, or things that's crossed his mind, or stuff like that. And I'm like, dude, just say it. And he's like, well, I thought this, or I used to think that. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And like, I let him talk about it. Like, we have
Right.
those discussions, and I'm like, oh yeah, I felt like this about this, da, 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 and I thought about da 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 da. And it's like,
Right.
it you could see the relief on his face, and it opened up so much more between the relationship, because it's like, you should be able to be that open, you should be able to be that open-minded, and then not be angry at your partner for having these thoughts, especially when you know damn well you've had those same
And
thoughts.
stop making it
Don't do
about
that to
you,
that
because a
person.
lot of
You
time it
know.
don't be about you. It's not about you a lot of times.
Exactly. Exactly. So having that kind of openness with each other would help you in the long run. And I don't want nobody to take this and use it and like weaponize it against their partner. Like, don't be doing shit just to get a rise out of them
Right.
or get a reaction out of them. Actually be open. Treat them how you would like to be treated. And if you're not liking it, then that's probably a sign that you shouldn't be there. But having that openness in a relationship will benefit you so much more, whether it would benefit y'all relationship growing or benefit you in knowing that you don't need to be there no more. It's going to benefit you in some
Right.
kind.
And I think that's the thing too, like the things that couples hide because they're afraid of breaking up. Man, maybe sometimes you need to break up. I think that's another thing we need to change in monogamous relationships. Stop being so desperate to hold on to this person. If they ain't for you, they not for you. And it's cool. Like, breakups should not be as hard as we make them. yeah, I understand you've been with somebody for years. You've created a habit of being with this person and stuff like that. It's hard to imagine your life without them. But bro, before you met them, they weren't in your life and you were fine. Like you have to get out of this being fixated on having this perfect life with this person forever, because sometimes it don't happen like that. If opening up to your partner makes you realize that they're not for you, there's nothing wrong with that. They're just not for you. We need to stop putting the pressure on ourselves and our spouses to be perfect. Like I said, to fit the models we've seen on TV or Barack and Michelle Obama. Stop saying, I want me a Barack Obama. Stop saying, I want me a Michelle Obama, because you're never getting one. You're never getting any of those, and you don't even know those people to be saying stuff like that. Like, you have to be realistic about who you're with and what you want in that situation. And I feel like that's what makes monogamy fail, because people aren't realistic and they aren't practical. And at the same time, they're very judgmental against their partner about certain things. Your husband can definitely come to you and be like, this isn't going to go deeper, but I've had these fleeting fantasies about such and such. Is she your friend? And you just let that marinate instead of being like, what? Like, what's wrong with you? Like, why would you do that? Why would you say that? Because some thoughts be like, especially when it comes to men, some of the thoughts that they have be so innocent, but we make them about ourselves, and we mess it up. We make them not want to talk to us about certain things, because we make them feel bad for every single thing that they think and feel, because we make it about us, and it's not about you a lot of the time. Sometimes that's just how that person feels, and sometimes it's nothing. But when you make it a problem, like you get fixated on that issue, you make him feel a certain type of way, and then he put in his mind, okay, if this is how she think about me, then I'm gonna be that. And then they start doing certain things. Like, you should be open. I'm not saying that every single person is innocent in a lot of the things that they think, but most of the time it is innocent, and you should allow that person to be able to talk to you about that, because it's not a big deal a lot of the times, but you make it a big deal. Like, that's something you probably can laugh about. You never know. Like, I think that is the problem in monogamous relationships. There's these unrealistic expectations. People are too close-minded, and you're judgmental against your partner about things that are human. And a lot of times your relationship be ruined over something so petty.
Like, I'm gonna chime in on what you said, Boonie. Like, I remember someone I was talking to, innocent crush on The Rock, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Right. Innocent crush. Didn't care anything about it. But I had a crush on Serena Williams, and I was just like, dang, she fine. This and that. Man, she didn't talk to me for 2 weeks behind that. Tried to make me apologize for it and all of that. And I said, you know what? You can go about your married business. I ain't got time for this. You know, people try to keep you mentally controlled and stuff like that when it comes to those type of issues. That's why, like,
and that's a celebrity. Like, you know, right. Good. She know good well you ain't never gonna do that with no Serena Williams.
Right.
Those are kind of conversations you have to have with your with your partners, though, because like, even with my husband, he's like, everybody who knows me knows I love Bruno Mars. Love him to fucking death. That man can do no wrong in my eyes. If he hurt a child, I'm gonna be like, what the child do? Bruno Mars,
Bruno Mars.
Oh, Bruno Mars. Oh, okay.
Yeah, but he was like, I bet you, if Bruno Mars was here, you probably be ready to jump on. And I was like, no, because I don't feel sexual attraction. So I'm like, I love him, right, but I would not sleep with him. And he's like, dang, that made me feel bad, because I would if it was, you know, this female celebrity. And I'm like, that's cool. Like, right. That's you. Like, that doesn't, I'm not trying to hurt you. You're not trying to hurt me. Like, if that's what you would do, that's just what you would do. But that's not what I would do. Just because it's not something I would do doesn't mean you need to feel bad because right. You would.
Right. Exactly. That was the point I was trying to make.
Like, polygamous relationships, like, you got to be an adult. Like, you got to be a mentally strong. be in that type of situation. Like, you got to know yourself. If you don't know yourself, then you don't need to be experimenting with anything.
Exactly, because it could hurt you. That's why I said don't get into those situations just frivolous, like just jumping into situations because it's cool, because you can hurt people, you can tear people apart, and y'all shouldn't get into those situations because you're trying to make somebody happy. That's not enough for you to do that.
I watched another podcast that I love to watch. It's called On These Hoes. Those are my girls. I love them to death. And they were talking about the same thing that we're talking about right now. And she was talking about I forgot, one of the hosts said that she was very adamant about never ever entertaining anything polygamy, anything. But then she saw this African couple that had polygamous relationships, and they showed the whole process of their weddings and the children and stuff. She said that was the most beautiful shit that she ever seen, and she said she shared it too. And it made her rethink things about what she traditionally thought. A lot, it goes back to the earlier segments.
Conditioners.
Like, we're conditioned to think that we're supposed to be with just one person. And
that junk is detrimental when you really think about it.
Right. Like, I can't expect my partner to be Superwoman, just like how she can't expect me to be Superman. I can't do it all.
Right.
But you got so many people who've been enamored with this lie that they think that they have to put in it, this lie that they have to be perfect, that they put all this unnecessary stress and pressure on their partners, and it causes a lot of mental strife, a lot of distancing, and it gets to the point and stuff like that when people start to mentally, emotionally, and physically check out of a relationship.
And then you create I ain't want to be. Then y'all be wondering why nobody don't want to be in relationships, because y'all so judgmental and y'all so uptight, like, bro, closed-minded. Open your minds.
Like when I listen to the woke brothers and stuff like that online, I start laughing because a woman can post a question of what does a woman benefit in a marriage, and none of these Negroes can answer the question except for the fact that
divorce.
She's everything in the divorce.
Which means y'all saying women don't benefit from marriage, they benefit from divorce.
Correct. So that lets me know that you already got it in your mind that this is going to fail, this is going to work. So why would you even bring someone into the tenfold with your relationship if you have this idea that it's going to fail?
Right.
Right.
Like Carlos said, niggas be online arguing about hypothetical situations
that don't exist.
Nothing that don't exist. They be mad at each other for real.
And then, like, the hypothetical situations, like, even with the women sometimes, they'll make hypothetical situations too that I'm looking like, really? You never went through this. You never experienced this. So how would you know? And this is just women that I'm surrounded by. Oh, what if he does this? Or what
women gonna make some hypotheticals. I ain't that woman, but
like I'm surrounded by.
I think of some, but I know I reel myself back in because I know they ain't true. But if they start going too deep, I already know it's something wrong with my body. Last time I had them kind of thoughts, I was pregnant, and that's how I found out.
Ooh. See, I never have that. Like when I'm in a relationship with somebody, I'm not like, oh, he didn't answer my phone call. Oh, he must be cheating, or he doing this or doing that. If I'm gonna think something hypothetical, it could be like the worst possible scenario. Oh, dang, what if that nigga dead? I ain't never met his mama before. How I'm gonna go to the funeral? Dang. Dang, bro, I ain't gonna be able to go to that nigga funeral if he died. That's me.
Right.
I ain't even think cheating ain't even gonna cross my mind.
Man, I've gotten accused of things that I look at some of the women that I've talked to. I'm like, really? I was just home sleeping. Like, I was just in the bed. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I'll see some stuff from story time.
Oh yeah, we about to go to get into the story time segment. I have this question for y'all. Have you ever knowingly or unknowingly been in a non-monogamous relationship? If so, how did you handle it? You can go ahead, Brent, because you kept saying story time. So
story.
Thank you, man. There was, back in college, there was this the well-off woman. She was older. She had money, whatever you want to call it. And my friend, he said, "Look, dog, this woman thinks she player or whatever, right? Like, let's see what we can do and stuff like that to try to like share her a little bit." And I was like, you trying to spread the wealth, bro? And he was like, "Man, look," he said, "Yeah." I said, "All right, cool, whatever." So I met her. I ended up meeting her and all that type of stuff. And here she coming with the lies.
Not a little chuckle. Not a little.
Yeah, I'm single. I'm single. I'm not seeing anybody. I'm not really talking to anybody. You're the first person I've spoken to in a couple of weeks. And I'm like, oh, okay, I see what you're trying to do with. And I remember I remember my boy came over to the room, came over to my suite, and we were getting ready to go to work. So we were riding together, and she just so happened to call him. So she calls him, he puts on speakerphone, and she starts saying, "Hello, my love. It's such a pleasure to talk to you tonight." And
So she didn't know y'all was sharing her.
So she's going on and stuff with that lying, and I had a great time with you last night and all of that. And he was like, "Oh, you too, baby, love you too," and hung the phone up. 10 minutes later, she calls me. She calls me. She says, "Hey, big boy, how are you doing? Going going through a little motions of everything." And I'm just sitting here looking at this lady like, you might as well just go ahead and say we polyandry or whatever and all that type of stuff. Like sharing you right now. Like, you got money, we broke college dudes or whatever. Like, we needed some money in our pocket. Go ahead and just come on out with it. Like, why are you trying to be player right now? But I said that to say, like, that's what certain dudes do. And I'm like, why don't you just come out and be honest and stuff like that and tell these women that that you need multiple women to be with. Like, I'm at a stage in my life.
Never know what happens.
Like, I'm at a stage in my life when I'm particular. Like, I'm talking to multiple women right now, not dating anyone, not taking anything seriously, just talking. And I've told them multiple times up front, I have no desire for a relationship. I don't want a relationship. I'm not interested in a relationship. I just want just straight platonic friendship at this current stage of my life. All of them seem to be on board with it, except one. And she had to come and pop up over here and cause a little ruckus. And I'm looking at her like, what are you mad about when I told you the truth? Do you really think that you being kind and nice to me was going to change my mind about anything? See, those type of people and stuff are the ones who can't deal with polygamy or any type of relationship when there's multiple people involved, because they start to develop that
they be competitive too.
And then control.
Want to be the best one. Want to be the best.
Right. And I was watching this documentary on HBO, and it was pimps talking, and they were talking and stuff like that about how they have to talk to women in their stable, different ways and stuff like that, because all of them not responsible. And then you had some of the women who were called working girls who were just sitting there and they were talking as well about it, how it's difficult to do X, Y, Z with multiple people, and being in that stable when you're trying to get the attention of your main pimp and all that type of stuff. But us being from where I'm from, I'm like, it makes me laugh when I walk into a restaurant or walk into just any establishment and I see all of the polygamy people going just in one spot, because all of y'all sharing and messing with the same people. Won't y'all just come out and be one big happy family? But I realized stuff like a lot of people like Van, you, Nadia, and John said tonight, a lot of people mentally just can't handle that. The younger me would not be able to handle that. But the older, more mature me, I'm down for it.
I really and truly, I honestly and truly think that lifestyle fits you.
Yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, it would, but
not unfortunately. That's not unfortunate.
No, what I'm saying is, when I was here saying unfortunately, right now it would fit me, but mentally, right now I can't handle that because I'm trying to uncondition my way of thinking to what I've been taught for a long periods of time. And I know me, like I know for a fact that I like to have multiple women. A young lady who I love back home, she told me out of her own mouth, like, I want to be with you, I want to talk to you, but I know you. You just like having multiple women. And she
And
right.
look what you call them, young ladies.
Yeah, young ladies. I don't call like women and stuff like that who catch my attention and stuff. I'll never refer to them as B's and H's and stuff like that. I always call them young ladies, or I call them women and stuff. You know, that is how I talk. That's how I talk to women and stuff. Like, I've been friends with Boonie now for over a couple of years, and I've never made a derogatory comment towards her and stuff. That's not my character. That's
you
not
definitely called me a B before.
When?
But not like that. Like it
Oh
was
no,
like
no, yeah, okay. Yeah, jokingly and playfully. Okay, I get what you're saying, but not just to address you like that. No, I don't.
I
Nah.
want to talk on what Brent said when he said why they won't just come together and build their own community, even though they're all basically dating the same people. It's a control thing because the person who they're all dating is the one in control. Because it would be so much easier to it would be so much easier for everybody to date each other, being that they're already fooling around with each other. But that means everybody will be benefited from it
everybody
instead
will
of
know
just
everybody.
that one person that they're all dating. Because you have some of these men who baby mamas are great together, who baby mamas are halfway looking at each other like, you know what, we might could build something.
And a lot of times
And
they do behind
of,
his, like they do outside of him.
right. And instead of letting everybody come together, he would rather have them pinned against each other because of whatever is going on with his ego, his mind, and his
Makes him
thoughts.
feel
Same
good.
thing goes with baby mamas. And it's like, y'all could work so well together, but it's all a control thing. They want to be in control. They don't want everybody else to benefit. They just want to be the only beneficiary.
Also, people be wanting to feel special. They want to be the best one, the only one, the main one, the top one. Bro, you're not special. Play a role and shut up.
I got a friend. She and I have known each other for years. I keep telling her all the time, like, why aren't you in a polygamy relationship? Because you pretty much already there with everything you do. Like, I don't understand why you're not there. Well, she she said, well, I can't get into one because then I'll see myself, wanting all of his attention and all of that type of stuff. And I was like, oh, so you're selfish.
Yeah.
Like when you're in a polygamy relationship, just from what I have observed and seen online and stuff, like you can't be selfish. You cannot be a selfish person.
You also can't be jealous.
Right, because you're gonna mess up the cohesiveness of the household.
Yeah, and a lot of people jealous. They can't help it.
Yeah, it's human
nature. You do have a lot of people who believe that everybody is jealous. That's not true. Not everybody is jealous. Some of us don't want y'all lives. Some of us don't want to be like y'all at all.
I can promise you, if I'm jealous of anybody, it's only because of something you might have that I can easily get or could get with hard work, and I just don't want to. I'm just jealous in that moment. Like, damn, I wish I had it, but never because of a person. I can guarantee you, it's never because of a person. I even had to let mine know that one time. I was like, don't you ever in your life think I'm gonna be jealous of somebody ever?
Ever.
I don't care who it is. No. Now I might want that phone you got. I might like that outfit you got.
Right.
But a person, no.
Exactly. That's how I feel too. But people gonna look at this video and be like, that's a lie. Everybody be jealous. Don't y'all lives are not that great. Y'all are not that great. Don't nobody want that.
Like
be showing off on social media knowing damn well you crying behind the camera.
Exactly.
Hush. Like Boonie, remember when I was dating that attorney girl? I ran into her, I think probably like a couple months before I left. And to see her now in the state that she's in, I'm like, oh, thank you, God. Because, because she ended up dating someone else, and little did she recognize the stuff. it's a recurring pattern. And I just want to tell her and stuff like that, go ahead and stuff like that and just be polygamy. Because you can't stop. You can't stop.
See, and you know what?
Mhm.
Those type of people, the cheaters, are the main ones who would not do it, because they'd be like, why would I have an open relationship? If I'm gonna do that, I might as well be single. You can say the same thing about you cheating too. But
Right,
nothing is wrong with that. It's okay to cheat, but it's not okay to have an open relationship. That makes no sense. And a lot of people really and truly do feel like that. I remember, my cousin we had this conversation on the side, and he was talking about his desire for a poly relationship, and him talking about it with his girl or whatever, and her basically telling him that she don't want to do that, but if he cheated on her, she wouldn't leave him. Number one, don't you ever in your life tell a nigga that, because all you doing is giving him a reason to cheat on you, dummy.
I can tell you serious about it. You got close to the camera. I can see the white in your eyes.
That is stupid. That is dumb. You might as well open your relationship.
You ain't lying, because the first thing a guy like me is gonna say be like, oh, okay.
And that's what he said. He was like, basically, she telling me, she giving me the go ahead, but it's behind her back. I don't want to do it behind her back. I want it to be a situation where she know about it. She okay. I said, bro, it is what it is. Like, you told her what you wanted. She said she wouldn't leave you. I ain't gonna tell you to cheat on her, but whatever you do is whatever.
Some that's just greedy. Like, Boonie, I don't know if you remember that one guy that cheated or was about to cheat on his girl that wanted an open relationship.
Yeah.
She told him that she wanted an open relationship, and he still was gonna cheat. And I know a lot of people like, well, how is it cheating if she says she want to? Because when you have an open relationship or you're in a poly relationship, that means y'all are in agreement. Y'all know everything. Y'all discuss everything. Y'all are agreeing with everything. But
and
if
that
you
is
go,
the problem for a lot of them. They don't want that.
Right,
They don't want you to
go behind their back. Why would you do that? What is the reason? And that goes back to that whole control.
Because cheating ain't about being with multiple people. Like people like to say, I need me more than one person. Cheating is, they get a thrill out of it. You not knowing, you not being in control of it. Like you said, they're in control of the situation. Your partner don't know, so they're not able to have any input. But if she be like, you don't even gotta do this, like you could just be with other women and I'm cool, you don't want that, because that's something she's telling you to do, so it don't feel the same to you.
Yeah, but then
you don't get the thrill out of it.
Yeah, but then it also opens the door for them to possibly find somebody that's better than them. And some people, from an ego standpoint, can't handle it. Not only that, but a man's ego with a woman is is extremely fragile. You're like, I can run around here and slay as many women as I want, but you can't do it.
But also it be women who be okay with not having sex with other people, but they are okay with them doing it. They just don't even want you to have no input. It's like, they'll be like, I'll just only be with you. You can have a woman on the side and I'll be cool with just being with you. And they still don't want to do that because she giving you permission and it's not the same.
Right. Like,
I had that once. I said, you can have sex with, because y'all know me, I don't care about sex. I was like, you can have sex with whoever. I don't need to know about it. You just won't have sex with me. And we'll be great. Like, that would be the perfect relationship to me. I ain't got to worry about sex. And they was like, nah, I don't want that. I like, what the? Why? Why not?
Because like you said, control is that I want to be able to do whatever I want to do. Basically, I don't want to do what you're allowing me to do. I want to do what I want to do.
Yeah, because some people turn it into a sport.
Yeah, that's cheating is fun for a lot of people. It is. And not only just for the cheater, but for the person who trying to figure out that they nigga cheated or that they person cheated. They see that junk as a sport for real.
I remember I was my girl Zane, she had her Facebook page and she used to post questions and stuff every day. I miss her because she keep getting blocked and banned. But it was a couple that this guy suggested that they have an open relationship, And the wife at the time, she was 100% against it. So she gave it some more time, gave it some more thought. So she finally, gave in, and she got blown away by the new guy who was a sexual partner, like that swinging type stuff. And she even said in the description and stuff like that, like this guy's penis went to depths that she's never ever experienced before and was hitting things that she's never had. So her husband,
not him opening up Pandora's box.
Right. Well, let me tell you what happened when he opened up Pandora's box. He opened up Pandora's box. She ended up seeking the soulless and stuff like that of that other couple even more. So when he got his fulfillment with doing X, Y, Z with that wife or whatever, he said, "Okay, I had my thrill. I don't want to do this anymore." And she was like, "Hell no!"
This sound like The Shy. That what happened between Emmett and Tiffany.
Like you can't and I want the viewers to understand something. Like, you got to know yourself when you get ready to do that type of stuff, because you can open up, like Boonie said, Pandora's box, especially if you know that you're average when it comes to sex. Like let's keep it real. Like, Boonie be singing niggas to sleep. I don't want to be around a woman like that who be lullabying motherfuckers to sleep.
First of all,
you
ain't let that junk go, bro. Every time this nigga talk to me, he say this. Let it go.
Brent just want his own lullaby song so he can go to sleep. That's all. Brent just asked for it down.
Nah. It wasn't even that. Like, what happened was, it started a conversation amongst me and my boys. I called one.
Brent, your face is red.
My face is always red.
I'm gonna stop fucking with you.
No, but I just asked the question, like, bro, y'all ever had a woman sing y'all to sleep? And one said, yeah. And I said, what was that like? And he was like, man, shit. He said, I was sitting on the couch looking like a single mother, all happy and shit. And I was like, oh, okay. So, but I just can't get over that, because it goes back to an earlier episode and what Boonie was talking about, like her sexual prowess and stuff. Like, there are women out here who are like that. Have I met anyone that can do that? To me, hell no, because I know how stubborn I am when it comes to that type of stuff. But to tie that in what we're talking about, like, yeah, you got people out there like that who, if you're not mentally strong, they can take you from the person who you think you're supposed to be with. Like, you got to be very mindful of that. That's why that polygamy stuff is very dangerous.
That's what I was saying.
If you're a weak-minded person, you have to be a strong-minded person to do that type of stuff.
And if you going into that joint with ill intentions, like, you think that you about to have fun, or she gonna agree, you about to sleep with this girl, that girl, you forgot that it's open, so she can do it too. But that's why a lot of people opt out of it, because they're afraid of being replaced, but they're okay with having sex with other people while they're with somebody. But the minute the thought of them having sex with other people scares them, because it's like, oh, and then men have this thing where when women have sex with other people, when women cheat, they be trying to replace you, type of thing. Sometimes that's not really what it is. Sometimes they just want to have sex.
Right, like one of the biggest things that makes me laugh with guys, and I can tell a lot of them haven't been out here like that, it's not always an emotional attachment and stuff like that to a guy. Like, sometimes and stuff like that, they just want an itch, that they have an itch that needs to be scratched. And sometimes and stuff like that, they just go through with it and they'll move on from you, just like how we do when it comes to women. Some guys, like some guys and stuff, they think they just that nigga. Some of them are, but then you got some guys and stuff who just are just so caught up in the idolization of just being, romantically in love with just one person throughout their life. And I think it's very difficult to be, just be monogamous with one person throughout your whole entire life. Like, there are success stories of that, but it realistically,
but they be having a go, but where it's never a success story where it just was smooth sailing.
Right.
They be having to go through so much.
Right.
To get to that.
Right. Like, and that takes a lot of discipline, and a lot of people are not disciplined in that matter. So if you're not a very disciplined person when it comes to your lower extremities, yes, polygamy might be a route you want to look into. If you're a person that can just be with one person and stuff, and you're disciplined in your, your lower extremities, and yeah, monogamy may be for you.
Right.
But at this current stage, me, I'm just only speaking for me. I ain't feeling none of that shit right now.
That's one of the questions that I have.
Oh, my bad, Boone.
Would you be in a non-monogamous relationship? And you already starting, so.
Yeah, I honestly could see myself being in a I just love women too much. But like I wouldn't get with women and stuff like that who could not be can't contribute to the overall goal of what it is that we're trying to achieve in a relationship. Because like you got some women and stuff like that who are on their grind, on their shit, and they are very family oriented and stuff. They just don't have a man and stuff like that who they deem worthy of being with to fulfill all of their needs and desires. It's difficult to get everything you want out of one person. And like Boonie said earlier in the podcast, she said that she would see me being in a polygamy relationship. And unfortunately, all of my homegirls have said the same thing about me and stuff. She knows me very well. It is what it is. But is that something that I'm willing to explore right now? No, because mentally I can't deal with that right now. I'm not in a headspace to.
What is the part of it that you can't deal with?
The part that I can't deal with the stuff that's not being the love aspect of it and all of that. Because like I said, I'm trying to retrain my brain and uncondition the traditional things that have been taught to me. Because if you look at times now, nothing.
There's love in those relationships.
I mean, yeah, it's love in those relationships, but I'm talking about love with just one person.
Got you.
Not,
So you're trying to basically like get out of the idea that you only can love one person? Got you.
Right, because like that's what I was taught to be traditional. But if you look at times now, there's nothing traditional about anything that's going on.
Anything we do ain't because we're meant to evolve. So we're not gonna stay in one era.
Right. Like Nick Cannon catches flack all the time. Oh wow, he's got another baby.
No, he need to stop.
Yeah, he do, but he got women who are willing to go along with him for that.
That nigga just
those are multiple women in different relationships. That's not a poly relationship.
That's not poly.
He has each individual relationship. That's not a poly relationship. These women aren't in relationships with each other or in a relationship with him and they're working together. Right. They are literally just baby mamas and co-parents, and that is a completely different thing.
So do you think that he is sexually irresponsible, or all parties involved sexually irresponsible?
Oh, I ain't no way I'm about to be baby mama number 12.
Right. At this point,
you're not about to come to me and try to like.
I said at this point, everybody just trying to get a cut of the check.
Yeah, because why would I agree to that?
Yeah,
pretty much.
And then they get mad. You ain't been here to spend time with your baby bro. You're 12 on the list. You the last. And your baby little. He ain't thinking about that baby because he feel like, oh, it's a little baby. They ain't gonna miss me. Which is not true. Right.
And that's what they not understanding, because it's hard enough for people to co-parent with one or two kids. Like I got two kids, but they by the same man. But if I got with somebody else and the kids living with me, my husband has kids. Now he already has to divide himself between the kids as it is until, they're all here in the same house. But now none of the kids are in the house with you. You have to divide yourself for each of them kids. That's not good. This man who has individual relationships with all these women, it's impossible. It's literally impossible. Like, yeah, he can pay for them, but it's impossible. Now, if they were in a poly relationship, that would be different, because that means they are all in the same community and all them kids
can help one
their
another.
Parents, their siblings, and they can help each other. They have their own little village. But these are kids who are in individual houses with individual people, and their dad is one person separating himself between each of these people.
And he keep
That's
doing it.
irresponsible.
He
Well,
keep doing it.
not only that, but the drama hadn't hit him yet, but it's coming.
Oh, it already started. One of the baby mamas was complaining about not getting enough time. And then Mariah was about to take him to court for child support or something because he wasn't spending time with his first kids.
Right.
That's a lot. That's a lot of drama. Like, it's a lot. Men don't even realize that it's a lot you're putting on yourself in situations like that. You shouldn't even want to be in a situation where you cannot be with your kids. And not even just that, like Van said, it's not even a community. So even though Nick Cannon is who he is, if he had a poly relationship, these women would be able to help each other. So him not being around wouldn't be as bad. They ain't even helping each other. What's the point?
Yeah, because that means that when he comes home or when he come wherever it is that they are, everybody gets him at the same time. Everybody get their daddy. Everybody get the experience the same damn daddy at the same damn time. Instead of he's daddy over here, he's this daddy over there, he's this daddy over here.
Leaving
you got
room
these
for
two
you to
young ones who are
compare.
less than a year old. Like,
Leave
that's
a room
not
for
fair.
you. Leave a room for you to compare and be like, oh, they his favorite because he always over there. That one his favorite because he always do this. That is toxic already.
And
these
then
kids ain't even that
imagine the
old
older
yet.
kids.
Right.
They're looking at their dad do this and create all these babies, and now they like, all right, dad, and okay, dad's over there now.
Oh, like he
I
forgot about
bet
us.
this one about to have a baby now.
Right. And also like he forgot about us. Kids do feel like that. I used to feel like that when I was younger. Not necessarily like my dad forgot about me, because for me it was out of sight, out of mind. He never was around. I didn't miss him being around. But at the same time, when it came to the fact that I needed stuff, and I always had to wait and see, let me see if I it always feel like, dang, why I always gotta wait? Why you can't just send it like you would do the kids that live with you?
Well, see, like for me, that's why I don't have any children, because I can't. I'm about to sound soft or whatever, but I got to see my babies every day.
That don't sound soft, bro.
Like my daddy used to read bedtime stories and stuff like that to us. Like, I want to recreate those fond memories and stuff like that with my children and stuff like that as well. I just may not do it in the traditional sense. As I get older and I progress, as I find out more about myself. But I realize the stuff about myself that I don't see myself being monogamous and stuff like that anymore, for the simple fact that I don't see the benefit of it, because this is not who I am.
You have unrealistic expectations. I was waiting for you to arrive to this point.
Yeah, but in the process of me being more open and honest with my partners and women and stuff like that who I met, a lot of them understand where I'm coming from, except that one who, did X, Y, Z. But is if I can just get some women that I speak to and talk to on the same page, we'll be fine. But like me, they brought up in that traditional sense, like they have to have X, Y, Z. I'm not ran into women and stuff like that who are open to that.
Bro, you in the perfect place.
Yeah, I got to be careful with that though.
You do, because they try to use you, but
Right. Like, I ain't dumb.
Also this is the land of the babies.
Yeah.
The trap babies. So yeah.
Yeah. Big time. But yeah, that's it for me.
Okay, so for you, yeah, but not right now.
There you
go. John, what about you?
Honestly speaking, like the more I live my life, the more I realize that I'm most definitely going to go down the polygamy route, mainly because this is what I just believe. I believe that you depend on just one person for your physical needs, your mental needs, your spiritual needs, or your emotional needs. That's unrealistic by itself to me, because I'm like, So last time I was in like a very short relationship with one person, and I'm the kind of person like the only person I'm gonna talk to you about anything is you. Like if I need anything, I'm gonna go to you about it. I don't need nobody else for anything.
Right.
And I'm the kind of person that I'll not cut everybody off, but have everybody understand, like, hey, I'm in a relationship with somebody, respect that. Like, this is my woman right here. I'm not gonna talk to y'all other women about nothing because I already got a woman over here. But that's what I started to realize as the relationship went on, because I put my best foot forward with anything, 100%. So I'm like, I'm calling her every day, checking on her to make sure she got, she good. Even if she busy, I'll just check it up on her. But that's why I start to realize that I reciprocate energy. Like if I give 100% to the relationship, I expect the same. But that's when I realized that's kind of unrealistic because the energy is not always going to be there. Like you're not always going to get 100% every single day. Like she got something going on. She she busy with something. She got her own life to worry about. She got her own bills. She got her own things to deal with. So a lot of times, everything's not gonna always be aligned in a relationship. And that's why I started to realize, like, I believe that I'm putting like too much pressure on somebody. This is only one person. And I just believe that for me, I can't do that to nobody. I can't do that to any woman that I deal with. I can't put that much pressure on them and expect that much of them, and there's just one person.
What about if you find somebody, like, what about if you come across somebody that meets most of your needs? Do you think that you still would want to be with somebody else?
Honestly, I'm still kind of exploring that right now because, like I said, I'm young. I'm still trying to figure this shit out. But honestly, I just believe that I'm gonna go down the polygamy route later on in life. But I'm like right now just exploring.
And I do feel like when you dating, you definitely should, like, even though we had that episode we was making fun of them rosters, have your roster. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Just be honest about it.
I support you, John.
I do appreciate it. I mean, I'm honest about everything. Like I was just telling like straight up, like, sometimes I be putting so much energy into everything and expecting the same thing in return.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, that's kind of unrealistic because it's not going to always happen. So I'm like,
I really like to see that for you too.
Me too. I feel like he could handle himself well enough to be in a.
I really like to see that for you simply because I know how your brain works, and I'm gonna just be honest with you, sir. You would probably drive one woman into the ground because not like you're doing it intentionally, but because she's trying so hard to like be that person. Not saying you're gonna be like putting a whole lot of pressure on her, but to have a partner, you're taking care of that person in some form of fashion. And you have to be mentally prepared, emotionally prepared to take care of that person in some kind of way. And I believe for yours, honestly, mainly because of your age group. So for your age group, you're too much.
I feel the same way with my brothers, bro. I feel the same way with them. I be feeling bad for them. I be feeling bad for them too because it's like.
John 22. John, you what? 22?
Yep.
22 going on 40.
Yeah, he's super mature. I feel the same way for my brothers. I feel like they were born in the wrong age group.
Like for me, like John, for me, I've always had great success with the older women that I've dated or slept around with, whatever you want to call it. But when it comes around my age or a little younger, I run laps around them because they just keep doing stupid stuff, and I get turned off by that. You know what I mean? So I understand. So I understand. What Van said, because anytime that I've dated somebody and I brought them home, the first thing my mom said was, "Baby, you sure?"
Yeah, because he's super
Right.
mature. He like light years ahead of women in his age group.
Yeah, I feel like he would
Mm,
be better off with the women in either in our age group or maybe like a little bit older.
I feel the
We're just
same
eight
way
years
for my
apart,
brothers,
but
bro.
mm.
I
yeah,
feel the same way
I
about
feel
them.
like
Like,
you don't need to 20, you're 22, so maybe somebody that's like 27 to 30. Don't go no higher than me, because then we're gonna have to fight. But
Man,
I
you can
got
check,
you.
you can
But
check, check the temperature on them too.
Yeah.
yeah, quick question though. So sis, what is it about me that's like too much?
Not
sir, we
necessarily
have
you
the
Like,
too
same
much,
brain.
but you are very like you level-headed, you very mature the way that you carry yourself. Also, you straightforward about what you want. A lot of the women in your age group, they ain't gonna be used to that because you have the small group of y'all in your age group that are like super mature, like y'all feel it kind of feels like y'all should be in ours, and then you have the people in y'all age group and the majority in your age group that they like I can't really even see them really having the mindset to settle down for real, like
right,
to be in something committed with somebody. I feel like they definitely follow a lot of trends and fads and stuff like that, and I just don't, I don't think that you that type of person, so it'll be
It's because
hard.
right, you, John, put 100% into literally everything that you
Right.
do. And most it's honestly like around this age is not the time that you normally would do that. You're not really looking to put your, all into put, how do they say it? Put all your eggs in one
One
basket.
basket, yeah.
That's not normally
right.
done around this age range. And that's honestly not something I can see you doing. Like I don't see you uh for lack of a better word, dumbing down to fit
Right.
in or like slowing down to try and, be within like you're already mentally past your age range.
Right.
So that's
John,
why
Right.
I said too much because right now everybody is in play mode because that's normally
Yeah.
what you do. Even when I was in my 20s, it was play mode. But you start to get that maturity as you grow. You've already gotten there to a point you're stressing yourself out.
That's what I
So
was telling him
that's
in the
why I say
last
around.
episode when I was saying that just because people like to say when you're in your early 20s or when you're in your 20s, you need to date around, you need to do this, you need to do that, whatever. But if you're not that type of person, because I feel like he's not that type of person. So when
Right.
you're not that type of person, don't feel the pressure to do that.
John, you're
I
very
got it.
like John. You're very stoic too. Like
Yeah.
a lot of girls and stuff like that around your age range and stuff like that will get the vibe about you. Like, okay, I can't play my games and stuff like that with him because he's not gonna tolerate it. You know what I mean?
That's how I thought.
Right.
Like they have like those little mental. You know how some young girls like have those little mental shit where they start acting like little brats and all that. Like you'll tell one of them to get the
Right.
fuck up. You know what I mean?
Right.
The story is this boy has come home and told me like the shit has always been funny, but that's mainly me and our mom's fault because we have basically taught him how to be like that. Like he'll be like, what does it mean when a girl says or does this? We're like, nope. If that's not what you feeling, don't do it. Don't say it. Don't act on it. If you know for a fact you're not feeling it, don't do that. Don't
That's
even
what I be
try
telling
to
my
play
brother.
into their hands. Like if
Right.
they talking about they love you and you just want to be nice, nope, don't do it. Don't be nice just to make them feel good. If you're not feeling it, don't do it. And now he's at that point where he's practically right there with me, if not above me on that level. Cause sometimes I'd be like, damn, John, like
He's
you
gonna
ain't have to say it like that.
he,
I
he's
mean, you're
becoming a
not lying, but you ain't have to say it like that.
hey, if I'm the brick wall, he's the mountain.
Right.
Yeah.
Nah, not the same thing, Brent.
I mean, like he's extremely stoic. Like there's
I
nothing
know
wrong.
what you mean when you say that, but we call you the brick wall, not because
all I'm gonna say is my baby brother cannot be played with unless you are putting in some serious work, and I guarantee you're gonna be tired before he actually falls into it, or at least even think about playing into your hand.
I've been trying to get my brother to that point. Yeah, I think he got it now though, because I feel like they are given, but call you the brick wall because like the wall, like you got a wall up. That's why. So it's not necessarily the same thing, but I understand the similarities that you're trying to point out.
Yeah. At your age,
All I'm gonna say is it's gonna take some amazing women to get to this boy. I'm not gonna lie. And when I
Honestly,
say amazing, I'm
I've been
not talking
feeling like
about
that.
looks. Like she can be pretty as hell, but if she dumb, he gonna let you know. Like you're not that smart, are you? And that's what I be meaning when I say, "Damn, John, like you ain't have to
That's
mention
how
that
my
she's
brother
stupid."
is, but it be so innocent. You can't even get
Exactly,
mad.
because he don't be knowing that he doing it. He
Yeah,
just
you
say
can't even
it.
get mad. Just be so innocent. And I just be looking at him like, you so innocent.
but I mean, like, hey, man, nothing wrong with that though. Nothing wrong
Nope.
with that, yo.
Should be like
I've
that.
been feeling like that ever since like I was in high school. Because as soon as I did what I did back then, I kind of realized I was going in that direction. So a quick little story: when I was in a band class, right? There was this girl that that really liked me. Like she got to the point where she would try to make me jealous as to why I'm not with her. Like she would go every single day trying to test me and be like, trying to throw hints out there like, I really want you, I really want to deal with you. And one day was in band class, everybody was around, and she'll get like real close, trying to clean on me and stuff like that. And then I'm not gonna say that I'm not gonna say I regret it. I'm not gonna say I regret it, but at the same time, I was like, I could have been like more. I could have thought about the situation more, but she ended up putting her feet on top of my lap, because she sometimes sit on my lap and sometimes let her legs on my legs. And
All right.
then, but same time when she did that, I smelled a little scent.
I know he was about to say.
And then I looked towards her, and then she was smiling and giggling because she liked to be around me. And then
Oh shit.
I looked at her and I told her straight up when everybody's around, did your ass take a shower today? Like straight up.
You
I
are
didn't
your
even think
you are your
think
sister's
about
brother.
what came out.
You are your sister's brother.
And this is why I said I think we went a little too far. Because remember, he's 22 right now.
Like, that's how you are, bro.
But remember, he's 22 right now. This was him in high school. He hadn't even graduated yet. So imagine how he is now.
Bro, I swear you remind me of my brother.
Yeah,
Yeah,
hey, man,
during
you a little cold blooded, man. I would pull it to the side. Hey, can we talk real quick? You a little cold blooded, man. Ain't nothing wrong with it.
That's
no,
why
because
when
she
he
would
said it, because he
always.
came home and told us, and we was like, "Nah, see, you ain't have to do her like that." But it was too late at that point.
But the rest of the day, she basically always held like a middle finger at me. But I'm like, you're the one that always want to clean against me. You're the one that try to get me, but you can't even take a shower. You can't even be clean.
And
Oh
see,
my
most
God.
girls learn when you
Oh
want to
my
be
God.
around
Not
somebody,
the
you at
middle
least want to
finger.
smell good.
Not high school girls, girl.
I
Not
never
them.
had that before. Never. I never
Well,
had
stink girl.
I never had that experience. The only time that I came close to something like that was when a young lady I was working out with or something like that, but that didn't count. because we both been funky.
Right.
So that's that doesn't count. Never had that happen to me ever.
Okay, let's get back on track. Okay, it says Nadia has disappeared. I guess I would go. I think Van, you already no, Van didn't answer yet.
Ma'am, what was the question?
Would you be in a non-monogamous relationship?
Bruh, if I didn't have kids and I was healed, I probably would have been healed by now. Anyway, if I ain't had kids and I was healed, yeah, most definitely.
So
Two men. I want to make that clear. Two men.
Got you.
They'll fall for it.
So if you were to do that, you wouldn't want to bring kids in it at all.
If I were to do that in the past, then yeah, I wouldn't mind bringing kids into it because that would have been a whole, already established relationship. Same thing as, any relationship or marriage. But the thing is now, like if I wasn't married, but I had my kids, Selena. But I don't have because I have them. Yeah, please excuse her. Because I have them,
that baby something
I don't have the mental stability and capacity to deal with like I told y'all, I barely have enough to deal with the people that's in my house. It's 3 other people in my house. 2 of them are my kids. I can't, all I would need was one more person. And I really, really don't think I could deal with that because I already don't have, I have trust issues. I'm not healed. I am extremely protective when it comes to my kids. I can't do that. I'm already stressing just trying to explain this. I can't do it. But if I didn't have them, yes, most definitely.
Got you.
Yeah.
For me, yeah, if the situation makes sense, yeah. I feel like non-monogamous relationship would make sense for me because I'll say my lifestyle, because of the way that I am, because of my health, a lot of reasons, So I think it makes sense, but it would have to make sense. It would have to benefit me. It would have to make sense. I don't really feel like I would find a man that would want to do that with me, but maybe a woman, because I kind of feel like a man wouldn't want to share me with nobody, with male, female, whoever, like they just wouldn't want to share me with nobody, or most men wouldn't. But if I was to get in a situation, I would do a woman and a man, or maybe multiple women and a man. I can't see myself doing a few different men, more than one man. I don't know. It would have to be 2 that I was like really attracted to, or 2 that I felt like, I can't live without them, so I want them in my life. But I see me being with one man and maybe a man and a woman, because I feel like when you start adding more people, it becomes too much. But like if you want me to live in the household with you and it be like that, it would have to just be one other woman and a guy. But if it's a situation where you don't mind me having my own house, or you want multiple women, I am not living in a house with a bunch of people. I'm just not. Unless it's like a huge house with and I have my own like compound, like I have my own little section, and like it's a long hallway with doors that can lock, that separate me from everybody else.
Living in the East Wing.
I could do a situation like that, but for me to be consistently sharing my space with somebody else, I don't even want to share my space consistently with one person. So a few other people. But if I was to get in a situation like that, like I feel like I would be like the best wingman for a nigga. Like if it's gonna be a man, like anything that's going wrong in that household, I'm gonna help you rectify it. If somebody ain't satisfied, I'm gonna tell them what to do to get satisfied because I don't want to do a lot of the work. I want to
See,
do,
that's legit the reason why I wouldn't mind doing it, because
I want to
whatever
do
I
as
don't want to
little,
do, you can do it.
exactly. I want to do as little work as possible. So I'm gonna be making sure that that household runs so smooth. You be the happiest nigga on this planet. I'm gonna make sure you good. Just get what you need from them. Leave me alone.
Now that you say that, I changed my answer when I said 2 men, because I thought about it. It's
Exactly.
masculine energy. That if you got masculine
Yeah.
energy, that's what I want. So it can be a man or a woman, but I just really love
The
masculine
masculine.
energy. So if we could
I love
find that
masculine
perfect
energy
balance,
too.
yeah,
But at the same
I could deal
time, I
with
like feminine. I like energy. I'm a I get high off for energy, so it really don't matter to me. But I definitely would be like your best wing woman if in a situation that makes sense for me and you understand me, you understand that I need like space most of the time. You good? Like I'm gonna make sure you good. You good.
One of my a good friend of mine and stuff like that, she and I have known each other for years. I was like, look, let's get it, like, if it doesn't work out with me or something like that, let's try the polygamy thing or whatever. And she was like, I don't think I can do that. I was like, you'll get sleep at night because somebody else is helping you with your kids. She thought about that thing. She's like, no, okay, you on to something, you know. But it goes back to what we talked about earlier in the podcast. You know, some people just can't get out of that. Some people just can't get out of that traditional mindset because I mean it's something that's been taught to us, and like you said earlier, you know, I was distracted with something, but you're 100% right. Like I think that it was done and stuff like that to control the populace because there was only a certain group of men who had access to that amount of women, and it's not different now. It's just more people and stuff like that are starting to understand that okay, maybe I may not be what this 1 or 5% man or woman may want, so let me go over here where somebody's just as equitable as me and we can work from there. So I get it.
Right.
It was done to create fairness and balance,
Right.
because if you look at history, majority of your emperors and kings, they had a lot of children with their concubines. Like I was reading an article that we in prepare and to prepare for this topic, and they said that Genghis Khan's DNA is in damn near, I think, like 16 million men.
I think
throughout-
I read that somewhere.
Yeah, it's like his DNA lineage is in like 16 million men in the world or something like that. And
It's
then like
nuts.
right, and then like I read that it was I think he was an Indian guy or something like that, or emperor or something. He had over 1,500 children or something like that. So, you know, like it is what it is. If you look at a lot of African societies and stuff, you know, a lot of cohesiveness and stuff like that is in polygamy, where everybody's working together for the greater good, you know. And you know, if you're a mentally strong person, it can work for you. If you're not, then you need to stick to the rivers and streams that you used to.
Yeah, because they said currently polygamy is usually part of religious cultures that structure elite men's access to multiple wives and provides an outlet to redirect poorer men without women. Two primary religious subcultures practice polygyny in the United States: Muslims, who are mostly African Americans, immigrants from Muslim cultures, and a few white converts, and fundamentalist Latter-day Saint, fundamentalist Mormons, who are almost always white. A few Christian not sexed. You know what I'm trying to say. I'm gullah. Y'all get it. In the US, also allow men multiple wives. And it was saying the region is usually today, polygamy is most common in Asia, the Middle East, and Africa, in which religious customs limit women's access to multiple male partners and condone certain men's access to multiple wives. So you're only allowed to have multiple wives if you can afford them, basically. So you have to have, in those regions, you have to have money to do it. But now, you know, and you know what, even in the sense where they say poor men don't, even in that sense, like if men who are completely against it because they're afraid that's going to leave them with no women, like it really could benefit you if you was for it.
Well, not only it could benefit you if you're foreign and stuff, like look at the financial possibilities.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. But because of ego, because ain't gonna be no women out here for me if y'all get all love, because of that, they don't see that. They feel threatened by it rather than looking at it and be like, hold up, this is beneficial for me, because if I got different streams of income, because in America, you can do whatever, you can do it however you want to do it. You don't have to be rich for that to happen. Yeah, you may have a harder time getting women to agree with you if you ain't got that thing, but it's some women who gonna be down. It's always gonna be somebody who down with what you want to do. You just need to readjust your expectations, because a lot of y'all be wanting the baddest, the top quality, this person and that person. I'm not just saying men, women too. Y'all want the best quality, the high value or whatever. When y'all be overlooking people that you can become that with, because you looking at people who are already there.
Right. I feel like if you're trying to get the baddest person, or you trying to get a man with this amount of money, you got to be able to afford something. Like how you gonna want her, but you can't afford her skincare?
Exactly.
How you gonna want her, but you can't afford her makeup to help her stay that way?
And that's
how you gonna want him, but you can't even be in the same room as the type of people that's in his tax bracket looking a certain type of way?
Repeat that again.
Like how, for real, I don't think they be thinking about this.
They
like if
don't.
you want somebody who has this amount of money, majority of the time, of course that's not for every single circumstance, but majority of the time these people have access to certain types of people, certain types of groups, certain types of parts of society. And you have to learn how to mingle with them. If you don't know how, you're going to stick out like a sore thumb, and it's going to embarrass him. And I don't know anybody that purposely wants, nobody that's sane wants to purposely embarrass somebody that they like.
Exactly.
Matter of fact, Van, you touched. It was a guy, I can't remember his name, but he was dating somebody and stuff like that that didn't live up to what it is that he expected to do after he went to like this business luncheon or something like that with somebody. Girl costed him money, and then there was another situation with a woman. I can't remember the podcast or the episode or what I was watching, but a woman dated somebody that she tried to give a chance to. He ended up costing her money as well.
Yeah, so you up there talking about you want a high value man and you say quesadilla.
Right.
Don't nobody say, ain't nobody taking you to no function to talk about some quesadilla.
Everybody was looking like, and everybody had to look like,
you don't know how to pronounce the words on the menu. You think everything is nasty at the fancy restaurant. No lie, half the time it is, but still, you got to learn to mingle in certain groups when you want a certain type of person.
Yeah. Remember Daddy's little girl. Hey, let me get some scrimps.
Exactly.
Hey, can we get some hot sauce?
Sure. Yeah. But at the same time, rich people don't look the same way they did back in the day. Now you can be ghetto and rich. Yeah, you can be pronouncing everything wrong in the restaurant, but as long as you can pay for that junk,
you can be. But even still, money will only take you so far if you don't know how to act. Because that's just like with performance and work or grades in school. You can be the sweetest person on earth. If you ain't getting them good grades, that shit ain't gonna matter. Exactly. You can be the hardest working person, but you got funky ass attitude. You ain't gonna get the jobs that you want. It's only gonna take you so far.
You could be the popularest person in your city, but you ain't about to be the most popular person in the world. Exactly. Y'all be thinking that high school popularity translates to real life, and then I be seeing how y'all be getting stuck when y'all realize it don't.
Like,
And like I truly understand, like especially when it comes to the dating scene, I truly understand because I'll advocate for that all the time. You don't have to be a specific type of person to get the specific type of person you want, because it's if they want you, they want you. But if you want to help them, it would be in your best interest to figure out how to adapt to whatever it is, whatever environment it is that you know that they're used to.
That's why
As
people
long
be
as it's
like,
not
"Oh,
gonna put you in
you
danger.
should want to be with a rich man. You should want to be with a high value man." I don't know, but the stuff that they be doing be looking boring to me.
Now I hate that conversation of, you um you making seven, I'm just using random numbers, you're making 17,000 a year, but you want this man who's a billionaire. Like, yeah, because
Because I could get
if the
them.
billionaire wants you, he'll get you. Like, and
You
if it's a
will.
woman, if she
Now I'm
wants
not
you,
going
she gonna have
like
you.
Van said. Yeah, sometimes in cases you can get that nigga. I really and truly believe that I can get any man I want at any level that I want. I really and truly believe this. I do not think that I'm better than people, but I know who I am and what value I have. And I know that if a lot of men met me and saw the value in me,
the same. That's all you gotta do.
they took.
They love confidence, and if they really want you, they are willing to teach you.
Because you're a representation of them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't think you have to be a millionaire to date a millionaire. You can be
Yeah,
broke as fuck
right.
and date a millionaire. You
But
can
you got
be what everybody else considers a 2, and this 12 gonna want you. Like, it's all about everybody's individual preferences. But
I
I
do feel
just
like you have to
believe
have
if
the
you don't want to
access.
embarrass them, yeah, I just believe if you don't want to embarrass them, it will be in your best
Yeah.
interest to learn some things.
Learn some etiquette, like know how to fit in different environments. You could be ratchet. You don't have to know how to pronounce quesadilla. You can say
And that
quesadilla.
goes in right, and that goes in
But
every state. If
you
you
gonna have
over
to.
here,
But if you gonna say quesadilla, you gonna have to whisper it in that nigga ear. Because if you say that junk out loud,
They're like,
you finna get flamed.
oh my God, who are these people?
And I don't think you can understand. Like, that goes for everything. If you over here being a princess and you got your legs crossed at the ankles because you know you're not supposed to put one leg over the other, you got on your dress and your pearls, and this dude is taking you over here to Golden Corral, and his whole family is saying scrimps instead of shrimps, you
you
might
would
want
be
to tone it
annoyed.
down a bit.
Yeah,
Yeah, you just tone it down. But if you over here saying it's yelling like the dude on Daddy's Girl in front of this man who's in front of his business partners, you gonna have to pick it up some.
yeah.
That happened. That
You
matter of
gonna need to
fact, that
clean it
happened.
up.
That happened to me. That happened to me. I took somebody that I was dating to, it was with a captain, and we just went out to dinner. Nothing spectacular, anything like that. Just some casual stuff. And she got to talking, and I got to like, yeah, you got to go, because I don't know what a man's and a woman's and none of that. I was like, yeah, you got to go, because your grammar is important to me. I know I have a list, but I know how to talk and communicate. Like, no, grammar.
Yeah, and I might be geeky, and it may sound like I be pronouncing stuff wrong, but I be pronouncing it right. It's just the accent,
Yeah, the accent.
and I'm smart, so
I had a dude who said Sonics and Walmart, and I was like, yeah, this ain't gonna this.
Sonics, Walmart,
If the way you
Walmart.
text looks right, I'm not
Yeah,
gonna entertain it
I don't
anymore.
like the way certain people or the niggas that's in the gang that can't put the what they just
Always
say.
gotta
With the
use
B in the case, with the
They
B in
gotta
the
put a
the
B, bro. You out of here. Why would you, bro? That reminds me of this dude who got in my inbox to talk about he a street nigga. Why do y'all niggas do that?
I'm gonna tell you why.
Y'all know that I do not fit in your lifestyle. Stay in your lane. I'm never going to fit in your lifestyle. I'm not about to be the trophy on your arm that other niggas can't get. I'm not doing that. I don't fit there. I'm not holding you down. I'm not stashing anything, hiding anything. I ain't doing none of that. So stay out of my inbox.
Oh, that remind me of that song by Teezy. Is it Tease or Teezy? I forgot. I just recently started listening to him, but in his song, he was saying that like they love each other, but their lifestyles don't match up. I was like, oh, tragic.
That was my first love situation. And I learned my lesson. So stay out my inbox.
I think they do it and stuff like that. I think what has happened is, it's just the culture and the climate, like the romantic side of all of that.
Yeah, they think they own. I'm in love with a church girl. I'm
right.
not, you not Jaru, I'm not Adrienne Ballon.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I remember a friend of mine, she dated a street dude. I met the dude and I said, man, if you don't get the F away from him, she was like, I love him, hit me with all the little hood rat shit. And I'm saying, you don't even talk like that. Where have you been? Sure enough, and stuff like that. He dropped her off. This was in college. He dropped her off back to her dorm. That dude went to Columbia or Broad River or something. Somebody started shooting at the car, and I told her that could have been you.
In that car with him. My mom used to tell me that too when I was younger, but I didn't get it. She was like, I'm not, because one of my exes used to be, I guess you could say he was street. I never saw that side of him. Other people did. I never saw it. And that's another thing too. If you can't show me you, if you can't ride me around and do all of it because you don't want me to see that, you want to protect me from that, you should not be trying to be with me. That makes no sense. If you gotta hide that lifestyle from me, you don't need to be with me. You don't.
That makes sense.
Now, if you're a street, if you were a street nigga and you not no more, I ain't saying I don't like street. I don't like street hood niggas. I like hood niggas. I like street niggas, but not niggas that's still in the streets. Like not niggas that's on the side of the road rolling dice with their homeboys all day. Nah.
I've started to see like a trend though since I've been down here in Atlanta. You see a lot of street dudes with the girls and stuff who are in the holistic practices and all that type of stuff. Because
a lot of them be reformed street niggas, but they still street.
Right. I'll be happy to see you too. I was like, what's up, bro?
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. But if you still doing that, no. Mm-hmm. I ain't saying that I don't like your type. That's usually that's usually what I'm attracted to, but
she just saying don't fuck with my life.
Yeah, don't put my life in there.
First of all, the dude that came in my inbox, he was a terrible street nigga because he told me he was one. I ain't never met a dude who sold drugs say, yeah, I sell drugs for a living. What even?
One that sent to the corner store to get the smokes.
Yeah, you wasn't even street right. You. I was like, am I supposed to know that you do this? Because I don't think that's how it works.
He probably one of those who be like, oh, the good guys never win. They only want street dudes. So let me get this girl and tell her I'm a street, the lamest of the lame, basically.
That's so dumb. I would never date a dude who would tell me they're street niggas, because real street niggas don't do that. Anyway, let's get back. Oh, go ahead, John.
Oh, man, that's a negative, corrupted mindset that they think that that's what all women want, so they try to move in that direction. Like, that's like, you can't have that kind of mindset just because you got a negative experience with women in your past.
Or one woman for most people.
No, how you gonna sit here and
just
say
take one?
All women want is street dudes, so I'm gonna be a street dude. But when they are literally telling you exactly what they like, you will do everything to not do what they said. It never makes sense. I see women all the time saying exactly what they like, exactly the type of man they like, exactly how they want to be treated and what they want to see, and they be like, "Oh no, you don't want that." What?
Or you want too much. Too much.
Or they'll bring up the fact, well, women want this. No, they don't. Or when they be like, well, when men say what they want, y'all won't do it because y'all be lying. Y'all legit
they do lie. Be lying. They do.
You say you want a good girl, but you cheat on her
But you
with the
cheat on her
hood rat.
with the girls that you consider to be hoes. Like, I don't
Are you
understand that.
swiping
Me and
down?
Brent
You
had got
don't like
into a
it.
conversation like that one time. But I don't
But
understand
you
how y'all
swear
have
up
that
and
mindset.
down. Right, like they swear up and down, I don't like weave, I like natural girls, I don't like all that
That's
makeup,
all
and
they
then
did.
will be looking directly at the same type of woman they just said they don't like. Or I had a guy one time, he was like, I can't stand that girl right there, she get on my nerve. I was like, you like her, don't you? And he was like, no,
Yeah,
I can't
it
stand her.
really be because
3
they
months
can't
later,
get
they was
them
in a relationship.
sometimes.
A lot of dudes and stuff like that just be hypocrites.
Yeah, they be lying.
Like they be hypocrites. Now I can only speak for myself, but like if I say that's what I like, that's what I like. I'm really like that for real. Like, no, I don't like this, I don't like that. Like I actually stick to what it is I like and I don't like.
None of y'all girls got real bodies. Then you with
And you
girls
can
that don't
tell
got
by
real
the type of
bodies.
women they've dated before how serious they actually are about what they do and don't like. Because a man that likes a woman that's 100% natural, I'm just using that example, you're going to look at his exes. And if ain't now one of his exes ever been natural, this nigga lying.
Oh,
Right.
big time. Big time. All of mine have is I had the hypocrite stuff that we were talking about. Co-worker of mine. Yeah, man, she can't have this, she can't have this, and all of this. I said, all right, whatever. Went to a bar. Nothing, the girl came nothing like what he described. And I was like, oh, you wanted them.
But they'll say this, they don't like this and that and that, and they be trash. Like, bro, you're lucky if you get something out the bottom of the trash because you're trash.
Yeah, and then you got women, oh, I don't want to date this type of person. I'm like, but you dating that now. What are you talking about?
Or they don't date this type, but they baby daddy be that type. Or I don't like women that do this, but they baby mama is a woman that do that.
Yeah, like, come on, man. Y'all need to grow up.
Y'all niggas be doing a lot of stuff that y'all like. That's weird to me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's one thing if you don't like it no more, but
Right.
if you are constantly, if on your social media we're seeing exactly what you say you don't like, and that's what you're looking at, stop lying to yourself.
Right.
Who you trying to impress? Like, really?
And that whole mindset that y'all think that, okay, y'all like sleeping around with women, but y'all don't want women to sleep around too. Like, who are the women that y'all are sleeping with if no woman is supposed to be sleeping around?
I need to send y'all. I need to go in a group and send y'all the damn TikTok I saw yesterday. It was a
That makes no
dad.
sense.
It was a skit, and the dad was like telling his daughter like he doesn't want her to lose her virginity and she's supposed to save it for marriage. But she was like, well, my brother, who is 2 years younger than her, she was like, he just lost his virginity a couple of days ago. And he was like, son, did you really? He was like, yeah, dad, I did. He was like, oh, good job, that's my boy. And she was like, wait, why, how is it that he's able to do that and he's a minor, but I'm 18? No, she was like 19. She was like, I'm 19 and I want to do this with this boy. And he was like, no, you have to save yourself. But he had to become a man. And he was like, who's the lucky girl? And he was like, oh, it wasn't a girl. And he was like, hold up, what? And he was like, yeah, it was my friend. And he was like, what? Why? He was like, because all the girls are saving themselves for marriage. And like the sister was just looking at him like
Exactly.
laughing. She
Because
was like,
who
he was
y'all
like,
having
yeah, so
sex
who am I
with?
supposed? Right. He was like, so we figured, if we are to become men by having sex, we might as well just do it with each other since all the girls are saving themselves for marriage.
Exactly, because that is stupid.
I have no dog in the fight with that because I have no children, so I don't even know.
It ain't even got to do with children. It's just stupid for y'all to be putting it out there that, oh, girls with body counts, I don't like girls with high body counts. But who y'all gonna sleep with then?
Exactly.
Who you gonna sleep
Each
with?
other.
Yeah. I don't know.
But if we they go sleep with each other, then y'all want to get offended.
Right.
I was one of those guys that I never asked because I never really cared. But you got some guys who get real sensitive about that type of shit. And I'm like, why are you asking? Like,
why are you getting sensitive about it? Like, you sleep with a lot of women. What do you think the other niggas
because a lot
do?
of them actually, believe it or not, don't. A
A
lot of them
lot of
don't. A lot of guys be lying about how many women they've been with and stuff.
not necessarily numbers. What I'm saying is, point blank, you're sleeping with women. What do you think the other niggas are doing?
They don't see women as human. Basically, it's just a doll. It's just they like
It's
hoes.
weird.
Most of them like hoes. Obviously, not all. Some like hoes. They don't care about them as a person. They don't see them as people.
Yeah,
They don't see us
that's
as people. We're just hoes until they find actual personal value in us as a person, like a person of interest. Then
individually.
they start seeing it's like the blurry picture is starting to get clear. Like, oh, that's a person.
Yeah, can't argue with you on that one.
That's just why my whole never comes out to play.
That's why they're getting mad that these women aren't looking at them as people anymore.
Oh,
That and you know what? Men
yeah.
are mad at a lot of things that women are doing that they do to women, and it's being done back, and they don't like it.
It's the guys that are ego driven are the ones and stuff that they're in their feelings about. Whereas me, I really just never gave a shit. Just don't lie to me about what it is you're doing because I don't want you giving me shit.
Right.
Like, you know,
Which is fair.
like that shit that happened with me and my ex. I even get not well shit, I don't have so many of them, but the one that me and you don't like. Well, I don't
Nigga,
like you.
nigga, I thought you was about to say the one that me and you had. I'm about to say you ain't never shared.
No, 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 no. But like I gave her an opportunity. I said, look, just go ahead and come clean and stuff like that. Like I knew you messing around with something because I was being faithful. That's when I was a sucker. But I was in there being faithful and doing all the right things and stuff. And I asked her, just be honest.
That is not being a sucker, bro. Stop saying that.
No, because I could have been out here getting my lick back
No,
too.
that don't mean like you a sucker.
Brent be out here talking about unfortunately, that's a
Yeah,
sucker.
like what are you
But
talking
be doing
about?
the exact like what are you talking about exactly,
My
Brent?
rat,
I don't think you be knowing what you're saying.
cause
Talking
man,
about.
cause my ratchet homegirls told me to go get my lick back, and I
Stop
didn't do it.
listening to the ratchet girls.
You right. I should have listened to my
They
own.
are not the mini.
No, I should have listened to my conscience, but it is what it is.
Okay, but let's wrap it up with the okay, for the what would you do segment, of course we don't have any questions, so I decided to ask y'all that question: would you be in a non-monogamous relationship? Everybody responded except Nadia. I think she is dead or something, so we're going to move it on to the what would you do segment, well, the Black Life segment. But don't forget to leave any questions. If you want advice, email us at socialpsychopod@gmail.com. Please send us some questions because I'm ready to talk junk to y'all. I'm ready to give y'all I'm ready to spank y'all like y'all mama never did. Psych. But if you have any questions or if you want any advice, email us at socialpsychopod@gmail.com. Moving on to the Black Life segment. For this segment, I want each of you to answer this question. Is there anything you fear about the rise of non-monogamous relationships in America? If so, why?
I feel like people are going to start getting pressured more than usual into getting into them when they don't want them because at some point they're going to feel like being monogamous is dumb, for lack of better words.
Right.
Knowing that that's not what they want to do, or they're going to feel like, I might as well, instead of actually exploring something that they want. Like, I'm hoping everybody will still stick to what they want, not what society as a whole says should be.
Right. What about you, John?
I wide agree with what my sis said. Honestly, I really can't add on to it because I'm kind of like, still learning about it.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I'm gonna just pick it back off of what my sis said. Like, I agree with that.
Okay. What about you, Brent?
I very much agree with what Van said. Society does pressure us to accept norms and stuff like that are not conditioned in the proper way, should I say? You know, we have free thinking now. So, you know, you have to have the ability and stuff to actually think and judge for yourself. Like, you have to know yourself. If you know that this may be something that you can do, explore it. If it's not, nothing wrong with sticking to the traditional route of one household, I mean 2-parent household, whatever you want to call it. But if you know that you can't fulfill that obligation or duty with yourself, nothing wrong with exploring polygamy. Just got to know yourself. Know yourself. Like Van and all of the co-hosts and stuff tonight pretty much have all said the same thing, that in order for something like that to work, you got to know yourself. So, you know, that's my take on it.
I don't necessarily have any fears about it, because I honestly and truly don't think that a lot of people are going to adopt the non-monogamous lifestyle. I think it's going to be a group of people that have always been okay with it. And maybe some people will be like, you know, maybe that's better suited for me. But I think for the most part, people are going to stay monogamous. They're going to stay traditional. Because I feel like it's a majority of people that cannot handle it. And I get it. If that's your choice, and it's your choice because that's what you want to do, and not because somebody wants you to do that, then that's cool. Nothing is wrong with that. I will say I do fear I fear people ruining it, like doing things that they aren't supposed to do. For instance, instead of having your poly relationship, the nigga is a pimp and he pimping these women out to make money for him. Something like that. But it's on a different level because, you know, it's acceptable now. And people get pimped anyway, but that's not legal. It happens, but I feel like it's going to be something that happens more often now. And I've seen pimp culture being, you know, realiving itself in the hip hop community. You know, they rap about it a lot more now. They always talk about breaking hoes, and I like finesse 2 times. What his motto is: sock it to a nigga pocket. Like,
yeah,
they're promoting it a lot in songs. They're promoting that poly lifestyle, but also the pimp lifestyle in their songs and stuff like that now. So I feel like people are going to be misusing it.
Yeah, but you know, hip hop and pimping is all kind of like the same thing. You know, I'm agreeing with you because it's been going on in songs.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying that I see it happening more now. Like, it's a lot more.
Yeah, with younger fellas
up now. Because once upon a time, you know, it kind of died down a little bit, but now they starting back, you know, with the mentality. And, you know, to each their own. Pimps know that there are certain women that they can pimp and there are certain women that they can't. I've seen interviews with them saying that that's how it is. But I just want to say, you know, be careful out there. Don't let people put you in positions that you don't want to be in. You don't have to accept a poly relationship if you don't want that. Don't be afraid to leave a person if what you want does not align with what they want. And if nobody has anything else to add, we can end the episode right there. Thank y'all for coming on this platform and sharing your experiences and your opinions with me and having this dialogue that I feel like we have healthy dialogue that people need to hear, because you have podcasts that talk about stuff like this, but they don't do it constructively, if that makes sense.
They disrespect each other. They talking over each other. They trying to prove each other right. And I applaud and love my co-hosts because that was my mindset in the initial phases of us doing this podcast. But when they called me out on it, and I thought about it long and hard, and I was like, you know what? They got a point. I can't change how you feel or change your opinion about anything. I'm just going to listen to what they say and hear them out. They may have some valid points, they may not have some valid points, but for me to try to change your mindset or no, you're wrong, it's like, who am I to say that they're wrong? Like, at the end of the day, that they have to do what's best for them, not me. I ain't dating them, I'm not living with them. Fuck, I care.
Exactly. I feel like people, they have conversations, but they don't get to the meat of it. They don't get to the why this is happening or why that is happening. Like they just kind of stay on the surface. And, you know, so I appreciate that we're able to have conversations like that, and they are needed more. But thank all of you for watching. Don't forget to email us if you have any questions or want any advice. We will see y'all on the next episode. Bye.
Stay in school.